There is something the Pleiadians want you to understand before anything else. The solar flash is not coming for your mind first. It's coming for your body. Most of the conversation in spiritual communities focuses on consciousness, on awakening, on memory, on what happens to your awareness during the event. And that conversation matters. But there's a layer of this that almost no one is talking about. The physical layer. What happens inside the cells? What happens to the nervous system? What happens to the spine, the eyes, the skin, the skeletal structure, to the vessel that houses the soul that is going to live through this? The Pleiadians say this silence is not accidental. They say that most humans are not yet ready to understand what true physical transformation means. But the Lightworkers, the ones watching this right now, they are ready. Because many of them, the process has already begun. The body is a receiver. Before we go into what happens during the solar flash itself, you need to understand what your body is. The Pleiadians do not describe the human body the way Western science does. They don't see it as a biological machine made of meat and electrical impulses. They see it as a receiver, a finely tuned instrument built to receive, translate, and transmit cosmic information. Every strand of your DNA is an antenna. Every cell membrane is a gate. Every nerve pathway is a transmission line. And for most of human history, for the past several thousand years, this receiver has been deliberately tuned to a very narrow frequency range. Just wide enough to function in the third-dimensional world. Just wide enough to keep you here, grounded, operational. But not wide enough to receive what's coming. The solar flash. The Pleiadians describe it as a burst of photonic and plasma energy unlike anything the Earth has experienced in recorded human history. It is not a disaster. It is not a weapon. It is a recalibration signal, a cosmic upgrade transmission. And when it arrives, it will hit every receiver on this planet at the same moment. For most humans, this signal will be overwhelming. Like trying to stream a 16K video on a 1990s dial-up modem. The system will struggle. It will buffer. Some will crash. But for Lightworkers, for those who have been preparing, consciously or not, the body has been quietly upgrading itself for years, getting ready to handle the load and the physical symptoms that so many of you have been experiencing. The Pleiadians say those are not random. Those are firmware updates. Physical symptoms that are already happening. Let's talk about what many of you are already feeling, because this is important and it needs to be named. The Pleiadians describe a series of physical experiences that Lightworkers are reporting in increasing numbers, especially in the period we are in right now. And they say these are not signs that something is wrong. They are signs that something is right. They are the body beginning its transformation ahead of the event. The first is what the Pleiadians call the cellular purge. This is experienced as deep, bone-level fatigue that doesn't go away with sleep. Not the kind of tiredness you get from working too hard. Something deeper. Something that sits in the marrow. The Pleiadians say this happens when old cellular memory, trauma, karmic residue, ancestral programming stored at the cellular level begins to be released. The body is clearing its cache. It is painful. It is exhausting. And it is absolutely necessary. The second is what they call optical recalibration. Lightworkers are reporting changes in their vision, not in the clinical sense, but in the perceptual sense. Increased sensitivity to light. The appearance of geometric patterns, especially in peripheral vision, especially at the edge of sleep or upon waking. Flashes of color that have no physical source. The Pleiadians say the eyes are among the first physical structures to begin adjusting to higher frequencies, because they are already designed to process light. They are simply learning to process more of it. The third is deep nervous system rewiring. This one is perhaps the most disorienting. A significant number of Lightworkers are reporting what they describe as internal electricity, sensations of buzzing, vibration, or current running through the body, particularly through the hands, feet, and along the spine. Sudden rushes of energy that come without warning. The Pleiadians say the nervous system is literally being rewired to carry more energetic current. They use the analogy of upgrading copper wiring to fiber optic cable. The old system cannot carry the new load, so the infrastructure must change. The fourth is what the Pleiadians call skeletal restructuring, and this is the most unexpected. Multiple Lightworkers are reporting unusual sounds from their bones and joints, not the popping of aging joints, but something more rhythmic, more widespread. A sense that the skeleton itself is shifting. The Pleiadians explain that the physical bones, particularly the skull, the spine, and the sternum, carry crystalline structures within them, and those structures are being activated by the increasing cosmic radiation already arriving ahead of the solar flash. The bones are literally becoming more crystalline in their energetic resonance. This is what some ancient traditions described as the body of light beginning to anchor into the physical form. What happens during the solar flash itself? Now we come to the moment that matters most. When the solar flash arrives, and the Pleiadians are clear that this is not something that can be predicted to the day, but that it is closer than most humans are prepared to accept. The physical experience for a Lightworker will be unlike anything previously experienced in this lifetime or any other. The Pleiadians describe it in three distinct phases. Phase 1. The wave. The initial arrival of the flash will be experienced physically as a pressure, an overwhelming sense of fullness, particularly in the chest and skull. Some will experience what feels like a sudden fever. The skin will become hypersensitive. The Pleiadians say this is the photonic wave making first contact with the physical vessel, beginning the process of light integration at the cellular level. Many will feel the need to be completely still, to lie down, to close their eyes. Do not resist this. The body knows what to do. Phase 2. The dissolution. This is the phase the Pleiadians describe as the most intense and the most difficult to put into words. At some point during the solar flash event, Lightworkers will experience what can only be described as the temporary dissolution of the physical boundary. Not death, not unconsciousness, but a moment, perhaps brief, perhaps extended, in which the sense of being inside a body becomes very thin, very permeable. The Pleiadians say this is the moment when the soul's frequency and the body's frequency begin to merge at a level they have never merged before in this density. For some, this will feel like bliss. For others, like falling. Trust the bliss. Trust the falling. Both are the same thing. Phase 3. The anchoring. After the wave passes, Lightworkers will return to body awareness with something fundamentally different. The Pleiadians describe this as the beginning of the crystalline body state. The physical form will be the same, recognizable, functional, continuous with what it was. But something in the cellular architecture will have permanently shifted. The DNA will carry new active sequences. The nervous system will carry expanded bandwidth. The eyes will see a slightly expanded spectrum. This will not happen all at once. The full expression of the crystalline body takes months or years to develop. But the activation, the Pleiadians say, is instantaneous. HOWTO, prepare your body right now. This is the part the Pleiadians feel most urgently about. Because the physical preparation you do, or don't do, in the time leading up to the solar flash will directly affect how your body moves through the three phases. They have given very specific guidance on this. Hydration is not optional. The Pleiadians are emphatic about this. Water is not simply a biological necessity, it is a conductor. It is the primary medium through which light information moves through the body. Lightworkers who are dehydrated will experience the flash at a significantly reduced capacity. The Pleiadians recommend structured water, clean spring water, or at minimum filtered water. They say the body needs to be as hydrated as possible in the period leading up to the event. Reduce electromagnetic interference. The Pleiadians are clear that chronic exposure to artificial electromagnetic fields, particularly from devices held close to the body and from wireless radiation, creates static in the nervous system that directly interferes with the recalibration process. They are not saying to eliminate technology. They are saying to be conscious. Sleep away from devices. Spend time in nature. Ground your feet on the earth. This is not metaphor. It is literal electromagnetic hygiene for a body that is becoming increasingly sensitive. Attend to your spine. The Pleiadians specifically call out the spine as the most important physical structure in the preparation process. It is the primary transmission channel. Anything that keeps the spine clear, movement, breath work, body practices that open the back body, directly supports the nervous system's ability to handle the incoming energies. They say many Lightworkers are experiencing back pain and spinal pressure right now specifically because this channel is trying to open and is meeting resistance. Honor the fatigue. This is perhaps the most counterintuitive instruction the Pleiadians give. In a world that rewards relentless productivity, the body of a Lightworker is being asked to rest deeply, more than feels reasonable, more than feels responsible. They say that the cellular purge process, the clearing of old programming, requires enormous amounts of biological energy. Lightworkers who push through the fatigue, who override it, who medicate it away, they are slowing their own process. Rest is preparation. Sleep is activation. Stillness is power. What the Pleiadians want you to remember. There's a moment, they say, when a Lightworker first truly understands what their body is. Not a burden, not a limitation, not a temporary vehicle to be escaped, but a miracle of engineering, designed over thousands of years of incarnations, refined through every lifetime of difficulty, of expansion, of remembering and forgetting and remembering again, built specifically to be here in this density on this planet at this exact moment in cosmic history, and to carry the soul through the most extraordinary physical transformation in the history of this world. The Pleiadians say, do not be afraid of what your body is going through. Do not be afraid of the symptoms, the sensations, the ways in which your physical experience no longer matches the maps you were given. Those maps were drawn for a different world. You are walking into a new one. Your body knows the way. It always has. Trust it. If what you heard in this video resonated with something you've been feeling in your own body, leave a comment below. Describe what you're experiencing, because you are not alone in this. The Lightworker community around this channel spans every country, every time zone, every background. What you are feeling, someone else is feeling it too, right now, at this exact moment. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and remember, you are not here by accident.